Puerto Rico through borrowing by 8. The Oversight Board pursuant to the subtitle shall be D. 9. Posited into an escrow account held by the Oversight 10. Board, that shall allocate such funds to the government 11. Of Puerto Rico in such amounts and at such times as the 12. Oversight Board considers appropriate, consistent with 13. The specified purposes of such funds and the applicable 14. Financial Plan and Budget under Subtitle A 15. C. Uses of funds obtained through bonds 16. Any funds obtained through the issuance of bonds, notes, 17. Or other obligations pursuant to the subtitle may be used 18. For any purpose, consistent with the applicable financial 19. Plan and Budget, under Subtitle A and for any other per, 20. Pose that the Oversight Board considers appropriate. 21. SEC 212. Pledge of Security Interest in Revenues 22. Of Government of Puerto Rico. 23. A. In general the Oversight Board may pledge 24. Or grant a security interest in revenues to individuals or 25. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 0000000 PO 00000 FRM 00063 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201C : users / dbirch / appdata / roaming / softquad / xmetal / 7.0 / gen / c / puerto 1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/LMS /114th /puertorico_02.xml. F:/VHLC /032416 /032416.052.xml, 62468112. 64. Discussion Draft. Entities purchasing bonds, notes, or other obligations 1. Issued pursuant to the subtitle. 2. B. Dedication of revenue stream from Gov. 3. P.R.O.M.E.S.A of Puerto Rico. The Oversight Board shall 4. Require the Governor 5. 1. To pledge or direct taxes or other revenues 6. Otherwise payable to the Government of Puerto Rico 7. That are not otherwise pledged or committed, in, 8. Including payments from the federal government, to 9. The Oversight Board for purposes of securing repay, 10. Ment of bonds, notes, or other obligations issued 11. Pursuant to the subtitle, and 12. 2. To transfer the proceeds of any tax levied 13. For purposes of securing such bonds, notes, or other 14. Obligations to the Oversight Board immediately upon 15. Collection. 16. SEC 213. Establishment of Debt Service Reserve 17. Fund. 18. A. In general as a condition for the issuance 19. Of bonds, notes, or other obligations pursuant to the sub. 20. Title. The Oversight Board shall establish a debt service 21. Reserve fund in accordance with this section. 22. B. Requirements for Fund 23. 1. Fund described a debt service reserve 24. Fund established by the Oversight Board pursuant to 25. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 0000000 PO 00000 FRM 00064 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201C : users dbirch appdata roaming softquad xmetal 7.0 gen c puerto 1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/LMS/114th/PUERTO_02.XML F:/VHLC/0324116/0324116.052.XML 62468112 65. Discussion draft. This subsection shall consist of such funds as the 1. Oversight Board may make available, and shall be a 2. Trust fund held for the benefit and security of the 3. Obligees of the Oversight Board whose bonds, notes, 4. Or other obligations are secured by such fund. 5. 2. Uses of funds amounts in a debt serve, 6. ICE reserve fund may be used solely for the payment 7. Of the principal of bonds secured in whole or in part 8. By such fund, the purchase or redemption of such 9. Bonds, the payment of interest on such bonds, or the 10. Payment of any redemption premium required to be 11. Paid when such bonds and notes are redeemed prior 12. To maturity. 13. 3. Restrictions on withdrawals 14. A. In general amounts in a debt 15. Service reserve fund may not be withdrawn from 16. The fund at any time in an amount that would 17. Reduce the amount of the fund to less than the 18. Minimum reserve fund requirement established 19. For such fund in the resolution of the Oversight 20. Board creating such fund. Except for with, 21. Drawals for the purpose of making payments 22. When due of principal, interest, redemption 23. MIOMs and sinking fund payments, if any, with 24. Respect to such bonds for the payment of which 25. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 000000 PO 00000 FRM 00065 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201C:\users /d-birch/appdata/roaming/softquad/x metal/c/puerto1.xm March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/LMS/114th/PUERTORICO_02.XML F:/VHLC/0324116/0324116.052.XML 62468112 66. Discussion draft. Other monies of the Oversight Board are not 1. Available, and for the purpose of funding the 2. Operations of the Oversight Board for a fiscal 3. year, in such amounts and under such condi, 4. Shins as are established under the budget of the 5. Oversight Board for the fiscal year under SEC, 6. Shin 107. 7. B. Use of excess funds nothing in 8. Subparagraph, A, may be construed to prohibit 9. The Oversight Board from transferring any in, 10. Come or interest earned by, or increments to, 11. Any debt service reserve fund due to the invest, 12. Meant thereof to other funds or accounts of the 13. Oversight Board, to the extent such transfer 14. Does not reduce the amount of the debt service 15. Reserve fund below the minimum reserve fund 16. Requirement established for such fund, for such 17. Purposes as the Oversight Board considers AP, 18. Appropriate consistent with its powers. 19. SEC 214. Other requirements for issuance of 20. Bonds. 21. The Oversight Board may not at any time issue 22. Bonds, notes, or other obligations pursuant to the subtitle 23. That are secured in whole or in part by a debt service re. 24. Serve fund under Section 213 if issuance of such bonds 25. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 0000000 PO 00000 FRM 00066 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201 C:\users /d birch /appdata /roaming /softquad /x metal /7.0 /gen /c /puerto1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/LMS/114H/PUERTORICO_02.xml. F:/VHLC/0324116/0324116.052.xml, 62468112. 67. Discussion draft. Would cause the amount in the Debt Service Reserve Fund 1 to fall below the minimum reserve requirement for such to fund, unless the Oversight Board at the time of issuance 3 of such bonds shall deposit in the fund an amount, from 4 the proceeds of the bonds to be issued or from other 5 sources, that when added to the amount already in such 6 fund will cause the total amount on deposit in such fund 7 to equal or exceed the minimum reserve fund requirement 8. Established by the Oversight Board at the time of the ES. 9. Establishment of the fund. 10. SEC 215. No full faith and credit of the United 11 States. 12. The full faith and credit of the United States is not 13. Pledged for the payment of any principal of or interest 14. On any bond, note, or other obligation issued by the over, 15. Side Board pursuant to the subtitle. The United States 16. Is not responsible or liable for the payment of any prin, 17. Simple of or interest on any bond, note, or other obligation 18. Issued by the Oversight Board pursuant to the subtitle. 19. Subtitle C Other duties of 20. Oversight Board 21. SEC 221. Duties of Oversight Board during year 22. Other than Oversight year. 23. A. In general during the period beginning upon 24. The termination of an oversight period pursuant to Section 25. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 0000000 PO 00000 FRM 00067 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201 C:\users /d birch /appdata /roaming /softquad /x metal /7.0 /gen /c /puerto1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/LMS/114H/PUERTORICO_02.xml. F:/VHLC/0324116/0324116.052.xml, 62468112. 68. Discussion draft. 209, b, and ending with the suspension of its activities 1. Pursuant to Section 108, a, the Oversight Board shall conduct the following activities, 3. 1. The Oversight Board shall review the budget, 4. ETS of the Government of Puerto Rico adopted by the 5. Legislature for each fiscal year occurring during 6. Such period. 7. 2. At such time prior to the enactment of such 8. Budget as the Oversight Board considers apro. 9. Pri 8. The Oversight Board shall prepare a report 10. Analyzing the budget and submit the report to the 11. Governor, the Legislature, the President, and Con. 12. Gress. 13. 3. The Oversight Board shall monitor the FE. 14. Financial status of the government of Puerto Rico, and 15. Shall submit reports to the governor, the legisla, 16. Tour, the president, and Congress if the oversight, 17. Board determines that a risk exists that an 18. Side period may be initiated pursuant to section 19. 209, a. 20. 4. The Oversight Board shall carry out activity, 21. Ties under subtitle B with respect to bonds, notes, or 22. Other obligations of the Oversight Board outstanding, 23. During such period. 24. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 000000 PO 00000 FRM 00068 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201 users /d birch /appdata /roaming /softquad /x metal /7.0 /gen /c /puerto1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/LMS/114H/PUERTORICO_02.xml. F:/VHLC/032416/032416052.xml, 6246812. 69. Discussion draft. B. Requiring governor to submit budgets to 1. Oversight Board with respect to the budget for each 2. Fiscal year occurring during the period described in sub. 3. Section A. The governor shall submit the budget of the 4. Government of Puerto Rico adopted by the legislature to 5. The Oversight Board. 6. SEC 222. General Assistance in Achieving Financial. 7. Stability and Management Efficiency. 8. In addition to any other actions described in this title. 9. The Oversight Board may undertake cooperative efforts to 10. Assist the government of Puerto Rico in achieving FINAN. 11. Chail Stability and Management Efficiency, including 12. 1. Assisting the government of Puerto Rico in 13. Avoiding defaults, eliminating and liquidating defi. 14. SITs, maintaining sound budgetary practices, and 15. Avoiding interruptions in the delivery of services. 16. 2. Assisting the government of Puerto Rico in 17. Improving the delivery of municipal services. The 18. Training and effectiveness of personnel of the Gov. 19. Earnment of Puerto Rico, and the efficiency of man. 20. Agement and supervision, and 21. 3. Making recommendations to the President. 22. 4. Transmission to Congress on changes to this Act. 23. Or other federal laws, or other actions of the Fed. 24. Earl government, that would assist the government. 25. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 000000 PO 00000 FRM 00069 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201 C:/users /d birch /appdata /roaming /softquad /x metal /7.0 /gen /c /puerto1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/114H/PUERTORICO_02.xml. F:/VHLC/0324116/0324116.052.xml, 6246812. 70. Discussion draft. Of Puerto Rico in complying with an approved fiscal 1. Plan and budget. 2. SEC 223. Obtaining reports. 3. The Oversight Board may require the Governor, the 4. Legislature, and the Inspector General of Puerto Rico, to 5. Prepare and submit such reports as the Oversight Board 6. Considers appropriate to assist it in carrying out its 7. Responsibilities under this Act, including submitting copies 8. Of any reports regarding revenues, expenditures, budgets, 9. Costs, plans, operations, estimates, and other financial or 10. Budgetary matters of the Government of Puerto Rico. 11. SEC 224. Reports and comments. 12. A. Annual reports to Congress not later 13. Then 30 days after the last day of each fiscal year that 14. Is an oversight year, the Oversight Board shall submit a 15. Report to Congress describing 16. 1. The progress made by the government of 17. Puerto Rico in meeting the objectives of this Act 18. During the fiscal year, 19. 2. The assistance provided by the Oversight 20. Board to the Government of Puerto Rico in meeting 21. The purposes of this Act for the fiscal year, and 22. 3. Any other activities of the Oversight Board 23. During the fiscal year. 24. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 000000 PO 00000 FRM 00070 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201C : users /d birch /appdata /roaming/softquad /x metal /7.0 /gen /c /puerto1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F://LMS/114th /PUERTORICO_02.xml. F://VHLC/0324116/0324116.052.xml, 62468112. 71. Discussion draft. B. Review and analysis of performance and 1. Financial accountability reports in the case of 2. Any report submitted by the Governor for a fiscal year 3. Or any quarter of a fiscal year, that is an oversight year, 4. The Governor shall submit the report to the Oversight 5. Board. The Oversight Board shall review each report 6. Prepared and submitted by the Governor and shall submit 7. A report to Congress analyzing the completeness and accuracy of such reports. 9. C. Comments regarding activities of Govern. 10. Ment of Puerto Rico at any time during an 11. Sight year, the Oversight Board may submit a report to 12. Congress describing any action taken by the government 13. Of Puerto Rico, or any failure to act by the government 14. Of Puerto Rico, that the Oversight Board determines will 15. Adversely affect the government of Puerto Rico's ability 16. To comply with an approved financial plan and budget 17. Under Title I or will otherwise have a significant adverse 18. Impact on the best interests of Puerto Rico. 19. D. Making reports publicly available the 20. Oversight Board shall make any report submitted under 21. This section available to the public, except to the extent 22. That the Oversight Board determines that the report 23. Contains confidential material. 24. Verdate November 24, 2008, 12:35 March 24, 2016 JKT 000000 PO 00000 FRM 00071 FMT 6652 SFMT 6201C : users /d birch /appdata /roaming/softquad /x metal /7.0 /gen /c /puerto1.xm. March 24, 2016, 12:35 p.m. F:/LMS/114TH/PUERTORICO_02.XML F:/VHLC/032416/03246.052.XML 62468112 72. Discussion draft. Title III Adjustments of 1. Debts 2. SEC 301. Applicability of other laws, definitions. 3. A. Sections applicable to proceedings under 4. This title sections 101, except as otherwise provided 5. In this section, 102, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 112, 327, 6. 328, 329, 330, 331, 333, 344, 347, b. 349, 350, b. 351, 7. 361, 362, 364, c. 364, d. 364, e. 364, f. 365, 366, 501, 8. 502, 503, 504, 506, 507, a. 2, 509, 510, 524, a. 1, 9. 524, a. 2, 544, 545, 546, 547, 548, 549, a. 549, c. 10. 549, d. 550, 551, 552, 553, 555, 556, 557, 559, 560, 561, 11. 562, 902, except as otherwise provided in this section, 12. 922, 923, 925, 926, 927, 928, 944, 945, 946, 1102, 1103, 13. 1109, 1111, b. 1122, 1123, a. 1, 1123, a. 2, 1123, a. 3, 14. 1123, a. 4, 1123, a. 5, 1123, b. 1123, d. 1124, 1125, 15. 1126, a. 1126, b. 1126, c. 1126, e. 1126, f. 1126, g. 16. 1127, d. 1128, 1129, a. 2, 1129, a. 3, 1129, a. 6, 17. 1129, a. 8, 1129, a.